Hello, my name is Del Ellis of Del Ellis International. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me with today's lesson on selling. Actually, what we're going to be talking about is something so simple, so minor, that if you'll take it and employ it right away, you're going to see tremendous results. Of course, the subject that we're going to be talking about today is connecting. Now, to give you an idea, what I'm talking about connecting is a couple of weeks ago, me and my wife, we went out to buy some furniture. What was interesting is the first facility we went into, we actually had a credit card with that company. We went in and sat on one couch and nobody greeted us or came up to us, so we went and sat on another couch, and of course we did this for 45 minutes when we watched them wait and greet on everybody else, but everybody about us. So we felt a little bit discriminated against, and maybe perhaps it's probably the way I was dressed. I know it wasn't the way my wife was dressed. So anyway, we left that facility and we went to another one. So once again, we came in, a young lady, energetic lady, came up and greeted us. However, the quality of the product that we were looking for, or the style, wasn't up to what we thought we wanted. So we went to the third place. Well, the third place had the quality, they had the style, but once again, they didn't connect with us. So we went to the fourth place. The fourth place, once again, no connections whatsoever. And so what was interesting is they had the same furniture in the same style, but the third store, had it for about $190 less, so we went back to the third store. Well, as the guy was writing up our information, I shared the things that I'm going to share with you today, and as we left, he paid no attention to what I shared with him. And if he wouldn't have had a better price and the quality was what we weren't looking for, I would have canceled the sale right then and there. Del, would you have done that? Yeah, I would have done it just to teach them, hey, when I share things with people, if you'll employ it, you will see change, and you'll see immediate change. So this connecting thing is, what's interesting is about it is most 80% of all people are going to buy from you because they either like you or trust you. Now, the other 20%, they're just looking for the cheapest price. I learned a long time ago, cheaper is not better. Okay? So, why is it that 20% of all the consultants are doing 80% of the selling, where the 80% is only doing 20%? Well, I'm here to share with you. One of the main reasons is because they're not connecting with their potential clients. So let's get into this a little bit, and most consultants are spending 40% of their time connecting or building rapport. Now, the salespeople that are doing only 20% of the business spend 10% of their time. So they'll spend 10% of their time connecting, 20% of their time of discovering, 30% of their time presenting, and 40% of their time trying to talk people into doing something they really don't want to do. What I teach is to spend 40% of your time on connecting, 30% of your time discovering, 20% of your time presenting, and only 10% of your time closing the sale. It's a much simpler process, and today will be step one of that process. And if you'll stick with me, I guarantee you'll learn some things that will be extremely helpful for you. Okay, so let's keep going. Well, RIP, what's RIP? Rapport is power, Tony Robbins. Okay, rapport is power. And we need to understand we have to create this connection. We have to create this rapport if we're going to do better. Now, please understand, fear's the #1 killer of all sales. Why did we go to 4 stores and they didn't try to even attempt to build rapport with us? I'm here to share with you it's because of fear. They're afraid to ask. So let's keep going. So I'm going to talk to you about the acronym SEEN. Of course, the S stands for smile, the E stands for eye contact, then we have to be enthusiastic and get their names. We got to get and use their names. Well, Del, why? Well, first of all, why should I smile? It reduces fear. Of course, fear is the #1 killer of all sales, so we want to reduce that as fast as possible. Number 2, the people we're smiling at makes them feel good about who they are and themselves. The next thing is smiling makes them feel welcomed. We want them to feel welcome. Listen, they're coming into a new environment. They've never been there before. They're a little unsettled. We have to get rid of that fear as quick as possible. And of course, smiling builds trust, and 80% of the people that buy from you are going to buy from you because they like you and trust you. So, are there some things that we can do? Or, when should I smile is a better question, I guess. As soon as you meet them? Actually, I'm going to say as soon as you see them. You need to smile every time you look in the mirror. You need to practice smiling. Gee, Dale, are you kidding me? Yeah, have you seen yourself smile? Is it plastic? Is it for real? I can remember doing a training, and it was a very, very, important training. And the guy stood there, the guy on the side, he stood there and it was fake and it was phony. So we need to practice this. Now, every time you answer the telephone, you need to smile. I would put a little mirror right there in front of you, so when you saw it, you smile. When I answer this phone, I'm going to smile. Of course. What can I do to help me smile more? Well, we need to adjust our attitude and think about something good that's going to happen to you. Not thinking when somebody comes in, or I wait on somebody, or I grade somebody on the telephone, and I think, you know what, they're not going to buy anything. That darn phone, it's just wasting my time, or these people coming in, they're just time wasters. You're going to have to adjust your attitude. You're going to have to think about the times that when you went ahead and answered the telephone, they did come in, or when you waited on them, or you showed them your product and service and you were successful. Or you can think about Ben whenever you get a phone call or you meet somebody. Well, I want to introduce you to Ben. Now, this is a motivating factor right here, but not for everybody. But here's the thing about it is if we work with other team members and we don't do our job, it not only impacts your financial income, it impacts the entire company's income, and it's for the worst, not for the better. Okay, let's talk about eye contact and why it's so important. Eye contact is going to build trust. Of course, 80% of all the buyers, if they like you and trust you, they're going to buy from you. Eye contact instills confidence. Now, if you're not making eye contact and you're looking down to the ground and stuff, and you're looking around when you're talking to somebody, I'm telling you, fear is going to come in, and fear is the number one killer of all sales. And we want to eliminate that fear, don't we? So sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. Dale, why do you do that? Because you know what? It's just in me. When somebody comes in, I know these are the things they have to do to get started on the right foot. So what's the secret to eye contact? I want to look at their left eye, which triggers the emotional side of their brain. And I want to switch to the right eye, which is the logical side of the brain. Now, why is that so important? Well, all buying decisions are done emotionally, mentally, and backed up by logic. Our job is to get them emotionally involved, get them mentally involved, and then back up the investment with logic. Now, if their left or right eye is physically impaired, don't stare at it. Look at the bridge of their nose instead, okay? Now, why should we be enthusiastic? Enthusiasm ensures that our solution is better than somebody that is not enthusiastic. And they could have a better product than you, but because you're more enthusiastic about it, the people will buy from you. Well, why is that? It's because it's a confidence builder in your potential client. It also gives the buyer no thought of consequences. In other words, it eliminates the fear. They think because you're so enthusiastic about what you have to offer that, you know what, it's got to be good. Now, if you're not sold on what you're selling, you need to, one, either get sold on it, or two, get something that you can get sold on. There's a fine line between selling and conning. Of course, the best salesmen in the world are in jails. They were con artists. We don't want to be that, do we? Of course, if you're not enthusiastic about who you are and what you have to offer, don't worry. Somebody else will get paid to be. Plain and simple truth. Let's keep going. Now, the name. Why is it so important to get their name or names? It's It's because people hearing their name, it's the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Saying their name is the fastest way for you to connect or build rapport with your potential clients. Saying people's name or asking for people's names and then saying their name is what's going to separate you from your competition. Of course, all things being equal, they'll buy it at the cheapest price, which I did. Now, what can I do to remember their names? A lot of people tell me, you know what, I have a challenge in this area. One, you start using their name right away. You say it to yourself 5 times in a row. And stop making excuses for not being able to remember people's names. You know, Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you're right. And as long as you keep telling yourself, this is going to be difficult, guess what? It's going to be difficult. But if you say, you know what, if I say it to myself 5 times, you know what, I'm going to get this down and I'm going to succeed. And I'm going to be more productive. I'm going to be better equipped on the sales floor than all my competitors put together. Is there anything else I should know about using their name? Absolutely. Always use their name exactly how they give it to you. If they say their name's Bob, don't call him Bobby. If they say it's Rob, don't call him Bob. If they say it's Robert, don't call him Rob or Robbie. Say it exactly how they give it to you. Always introduce them to the staff. Okay, we want to be one big happy family, don't we? And I always introduced them to other clients. You know, I had a retail store. I also worked in the business machine industry. I always introduced everybody to everyone. Besides, it's just polite and it's manners. And if you use manners, you'll go a lot further than most. You'll be in the 20% doing 80% of the selling versus being the 80% only doing 20% of the selling. Well, that's today's lesson. My name is Del Ellis. If you have any questions, you can write me or call me, and the information will be on the screen. Anyway, I appreciate you taking the time and being with me, and I guarantee you, if you'll take these simple steps that I shared with you today, smile, eye contact, enthusiasm, get and use their names, you'll be more successful, and that's what really, really excites me. Have a wonderful day.